What is good, anime heads?
Hello, hello.
Going to be a great show. We got something special to talk about. Something amazing happened last week.
Mm-hmm.
So over here in the U.S., we got the opportunity to see what everybody in Japan was seeing for the last few months, and we're talking about Demon Slayer Infinity Castle arc, the first part. Everybody here saw it. Jackie seen it most recently. Uh, I would ask you initial thoughts, but I feel like you have a lot to talk about. So we'll just go ahead and if we have our shots or a little, I know Jackie's a little under the weather. First of all, round of applause.
I have my tea.
Round of applause.
Did you put some whiskey in there?
Oh, that's a good idea.
Whiskey, honey, and tea. What is that again? It's a
Isn't that supposed to help?
hot toddy or something. Yeah.
Steven, bring me up the whiskey.
Yeah, a little bit of whiskey, a little bit of, or a lot of whiskey, a little bit of lemon.
Yeah, that'll help. That will help clear my.
Yeah, helps with your throat. And
just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Yeah. Splash.
I have my tea,
splash.
guys. No shots for me today.
No problem. No problem.
It's all good.
But here's to outside of anime stuff, a lot of stuff going on the internet. People going back and forth, being nasty with one another. Here, we're just here to talk about some anime, bring our people together, have a good time. So here's to anime bringing people together through all the bullshit and nonsense.
Cheers to that.
Bye.
Anzai.
Love that. Kampai.
Now that all that mushy stuff's out the way, let's roll this intro.
The following is a presentation of the That Feeling Podcast Network, reminding you to always question the answers.
Eat the cake. Eat it. Eat the cake. Yeah. Eat the cake. Eat the cake. Well, all right. I bet you thought you stumbled on another podcast. Of course you're right, but let me tell you about the contrast. It's really different, not an exit from the Comcast. We cover anime today and other times past. Listen and learn in that order, then replay. Be entertained by Mac, Jackie, and EJ. 3 hoes doing way more than the most, proving you can pay the lion, but it's all in the approach. Originals and sequels, the newbies and the Ichigos. The world's up in flames to the ones more peaceful. The weapons or the Shuto, manga, Naruto, Monkey D. Luffy, and a lot more that you know. Subscribe, hit the like, give the algorithm life once. We trying to get the same pie that Apple took a bite from. Join the conversation, let us know if you can relate. If not, you still might be forced to eat the cake. Anime, hey, hey, eat the cake. Hey, hey, anime, eat the cake. Anime, eat the cake. Anime, hey, hey, eat the cake. Hey, hey, anime, eat the cake. Anime, eat the cake. Anime.
I always love that intro. I know we say it every time, but I just
Yeah.
say it. I don't care.
I just love it because it's like uniquely ours, you know?
Yeah.
Like just tailor made for us, which again,
also-
shout out.
Yeah, I also feel like every time I watch it, I find something new that I didn't notice before.
Yep. But like we talked about, we'll be talking about the Demon Slayer movie. We're going to do this kind of in 2 parts, right? First thing we'll talk about, obviously, some of the information, and then we'll give kind of spoiler-free review and thoughts, and then we'll kind of hit a part 2 where we'll get into a little bit of a deep dive where some spoilers may come out, so we'll throw a warning out there. If you haven't seen it, you can just drop out, come back after you've seen it, or you can watch it and then go into the movie kind of knowing what to expect. Either way, I know some people like to do it that way. Some people probably read the manga and kind of already know what's happening and haven't seen it. So it's not like it's a total spoiler because the actual material is already out there that you can go catch up on. But without further ado, let us get to our movie review of Demon Slayer Infinity Castle, Part Uno.
Uno.
So, like I said, we've all seen it.
Yes.
I'll ask EJ first. What were your thoughts when you first saw the movie? What were your expectations going in? And when the credits rolled, what was your overall feeling?
Expectations going in were always high. Anything with Demon Slayer, I mean, it's been out the box. It's been, knocking them out the park as far as visuals and everything else, voice acting. So you expect the best. So I was going in with that. I was also expecting to have some big grown up tier moments, I was ready to
Get 'em?
see some of my favorite people just disappear because you just have that feeling it's coming. I mean, as epically as we left off and we're dropping right into it. And I mean, when they dropped right into it. So, my initial impressions, were right on. Cause I mean, from the get go to the end, it was nonstop, everything that you've been waiting to see. Of course you never want it to end. You want it to keep going. But, as the credits rolled, I was completely satisfied with it. Of course, I'm hyped for everything yet to come, but from start to finish, I feel like they did a service to everybody, the fans of the manga, the fans of the anime, just fans overall of anime movies. I mean, they put it all out. They put a lot of effort into it. You could tell from the very beginning to the very end, nothing was done cheaply. Nothing felt like they sloughed off that part because they're focusing on this. The whole thing felt like they really immersed their time and energy into it. So I was thoroughly impressed through the whole thing. I had nothing but great things to say about it.
All right, Jackie, thoughts?
It was amazing. When I the same thing like what EJ said. I'm always gonna go into it with high expectations just because Ufotable and the way that Demon Slayer has been like every single time. Um, they've always hit, even with like the training arcs where people will complain a lot that it's like boring and the pace is slow. I still enjoyed all of those arcs. So
Exactly.
for something that's as big as this, I knew it was gonna be super enjoyable. The um the art style, the fights, the backstories, all of the characters, the music, it was just insane. Um, I think like I thought that I was gonna be more impressed with like the visuals and stuff, which I was, but I actually thought that the soundtrack and the score was equally as impressive. And I found at points it's kind of like Dan to Dan right now with their score is like super fun. That's how I felt when I was watching this movie is I was like kind of going like this as things were happening or like my emotions would flow with what's happening because of like the music. So um yeah, it was really dope. I loved all of it and I cried a lot.
Oh, that's right. You didn't read the manga, so all of this shit was
I
just
didn't. So yeah, all
oh,
of it. Yeah, so all of it's new to me. I didn't read the manga at
oh,
all. I'm not as caught up. So I was really like didn't know any of these things were happening. And we'll talk about it later, but it was a roller coaster of emotions and like Mugen Train was crazy. Like that was sad, but like this was just continuous. Like I couldn't stop like feeling so many emotions while I watched this movie, and I just Kiyohara is just amazing.
agreed. I
What
have
you
the
got,
same
Willie?
thoughts. Having read the manga, knowing what was going on, I didn't know how much they would cover for part one. Going into it, I knew it was going to be fire, right? I just knew it was going to be fire because I knew the story and I knew Ufotable and the director. Let me get his name. Uh, Haru Sorozaki,
Mm.
who has been doing the direction for the episodes as well. The one thing I do love about this is the continuity. They didn't try to pick somebody new. They didn't try to do anything different for the movie. Same animator, same studio, same director, same all of that stuff to keep the continuity. They just give them a bigger budget so they can go balls to the wall with the animation, the music, and everything. From start to finish, good job. There has been some gripes for some people saying some parts of the movie drug on. I mean, you're looking at a two and a
Mhm.
half hour long movie. which I had no problem with. Again, we've been on this thing before talking about, bro, as long as the shit's good, like I'll sit in the seat for 4 hours and watch it. You know what I'm saying? It's that good of a watch. Same thing with you, Jackie. The music played a big part, just like it did in Mugen Train. You know, the music always fit the scene. Um, they didn't rush anything. I think they set everything up nicely. And the one thing Demon Slayer will do, Ufotable will do, is they will give you a backstory so amazing for these characters where you can't help be invested in every character that's on the screen. Anytime a character is on the screen, you just can't be like, oh, I don't care if this person makes it. You know what I'm saying? Like it's
Right.
You have no filler people, you know.
Right. You get emotionally attached, and I guess like across the board, we're all satisfied with the product that was put out, and looking at the numbers, so is everybody else apparently, right?
Well, except that was it IGN or IMDb? IMDb one. I think they only gave it like a 6, right?
No, that was IGN, and
Oh, that was
that
IGN.
that is the most ridiculous review. I looked up why, and it was so stupid. It was like, it had horrendous pacing and a clearly incomplete story. I was like,
Did we watch
it's
the same
part
movie? That's
one.
what I was thinking. You know, one, like you just said, Willie, obviously the people have spoken. When you look at the performance of this movie in the theaters, I mean, come on, dude. To me, it felt like they wrote that review just to try to troll or get eyes on their article. Because, I mean, the one complaint I heard from that individual, and it might have been echoed by some of the people who commented with that, was the pacing, okay, or the what they call the characters narrating all the action. I'm like, that is, I don't know how else to put it besides traditional anime scripting. I mean, everything from Dragon Ball Z through, you know, JJK, through everything, the characters are part of what paced the story out and explains some of the story at the same time. They always do that. That's why I was like, when they said, oh, a character's narrating everything that's happening, I'm like, they're commenting on everything that's happening, because it's part, when you're a voice actor, that's part of how you convey your character's emotion and involvement in that scene, is that you speak to the scene. I mean, what else do you want a voice actor to do? You know, it's like, just sit there and breathe for it. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, come on, man. That I felt the criticism was ill placed and kind of out of left field for what we got. I mean, it just unseated Spirited Away.
Mm-hmm.
It just unseated Spirited Away, which is Spirited Away has held that title for how long? I mean, you gotta give props where they're due, man. I mean, this movie was everything I wanted.
Spirited Away is the third highest grossing movie in Japanese box office history, which was, like you said,
2001.
succeeded by the new Demon Slayer movie. Number one is still Mugen Train.
Yes.
Obviously, but the new movie's been out for like 2 years over there, or 2 months. I'm sorry. So for whatever reason, I think some of the articles mentioned that the weird dynamic with the COVID-19 movie theaters just opening back up possibly led to the sustainability of Mugen Train to continue to trend or be topping the box office week after week over there. But the opening weekend records were shattered by Infinity Castle. So it peaked high and then it kind of just stalled out over there in Japan. But I'm assuming, because let me look at my notes real quick. It's only as of what I got today. Mugen Train.
The price?
No, Mugen Train grossed 40.75 billion yen, which is $275 million.
Mm-hmm.
Through its theatrical.
That's just Japan. That's just Japan, though.
Yeah, I know. That's just I'm talking about Japanese record.
Just the Japanese market. Okay.
Right. Infinity Castle is at 33.6 1.06 billion, which is 22.3 million. And like I said, I'm sure it's still in theater, so people can go and check it out and stuff.
Yeah.
And then Spirit Away, obviously, is number 3. So those are the top 3 grossing movies in Japanese box office history. All 3 anime movies, which I think is pretty cool.
And I think that you have to take into account with things like, especially for Spirited Away, the target audience for Spirited Away is children. Therefore, anytime you have an animated child's movie, you get big numbers because families take their kids to go see it and could possibly go more than once to take kids to go see it. It's just, it's the same thing when, we were having, you see Disney pop a movie out, Disney summer movie is going to get in the hundreds of millions of dollars as far as animated movies because of kids, whether or not it was great. We've had some Disney movies that everyone's like, it's all right, but the kids will still come and watch it. So Spirited Away gets a lot of its earnings from the fact that it was, tailored towards kids, whereas Demon Slayer is definitely, the older age group. So you don't have that, multiple kid parties and stuff that are just going to keep happening. So I think that once it has some time, more than 2 months out, I see that it's probably going to be pretty close. It's probably going to get up there.
A lot of the Studio Ghibli movies too are just like one-offs. They're not a continuing series. So that also is going to capture more of an audience, especially back then. Whereas Demon Slayer, it's canon. You have to watch the actual show to know what's going on. You can't just show up and watch this and then know what's happening. One thing that I wrote down that I thought was like really cool, especially with the revenue, is like kind of what you had, Willie, but also like in United States alone, like they're right now holding the record for the biggest opening weekend for an anime movie in North America. And I think as of now, it's like $70 million domestic gross,
I
like
just saw that
sales.
too. Yeah.
Yeah. And then it even set a record in India as the highest grossing anime film as well, which is pretty sick. And I got interested in looking at like what the budget was that they started off with for this movie. And they started off with $20 million and they've already made globally, I think it was like 471.1 mil. So
Yeah.
like these
It's-
people, like Ufotable's banking right now, and it's just going to continue to grow. And I just like I think about like Kiyohara, like the creator of like how this whole thing started with just like a one shot that she and her like it wasn't even an editor at the time. She just threw it out there to see if she liked it, won some awards with it, and then tried to publish different stories on the Shonen Weekly to try and get published. And nothing was getting approved. And then she went back to her one shot and made Demon Slayer, and then it just like took off from there. So just to see like where it started and how far she's come for all of this and just all of the records it's breaking. I think it beat Pokemon, the first movie originally had the record back in 1999. So yeah, it broke that.
that's a huge thing too. Considering the fan base for Pokemon, and it's something we've all talked about a lot. Is that in the U.S. rarely do we see anime get this kind of traction, especially in the theaters. And for it blew out everyone this past weekend. As far as
the second place movie this weekend was The Conjuring: Last Rites. Made 25.6 million to Demon Slayer 70.6 million.
Yeah, it blew up. It's ridiculous. And that's a franchise, pretty strong following there for the Conjuring series as far as horror fans go. And
25.6 is good for a horror movie.
For a horror movie, absolutely.
But I'm just like, people kind of knew what it was. And I'll say this as well. There were pirated versions of this movie going around. People have already seen this movie and they go to the theater to see it again. You know what I'm saying? Yes. People just wanted to see it. So I understand a lot of people were apprehensive with, please don't pirate it, support the studio, don't do, and I get it, right? But the strength of the Demon Slayer fan base, like we just wanted to see it. The fact that it was out and the Japanese audience was enjoying this shit, and we're over here just foaming at the mouth waiting for it.
Yeah,
I know.
We're gonna watch it. Like we're gonna watch it, and then when it comes out in the theater, I want to watch it with the Dolby surround sound. Absolutely. And and people showed out.
Yeah.
Cosplayers showed up.
Cosplayer.
Yep.
I mean, can you imagine the merch? Anything that's ufotable, like
Bro, Hot
copyrighted.
Topic,
Yeah,
the
dude,
Hot
that
Topic
shit
at
is
the mall
freaking-
here, no Demon
Oh my
Slayer.
God.
No,
Oh.
What? Really?
people were trying, like they sold out. People went to
Oh.
go Demon
Oh.
Slayer
Okay.
and shit
Shirts,
before they went to go watch the movie.
pins,
Because people showed
everything.
up. If they didn't have the cosplay, they had the shirts. They had
Yep.
something. They had the Demon
They had
Slayer.
something. Even
popcorn,
yeah,
something
I've
Demon
seen
Slayer.
people with little Funko Pop stuff they're carrying. Everything. I
Yeah.
mean, their merchandise alone isn't even counted into this earnings that they're making. So, 400 million globally to date, plus merch, plus, I mean, they're doing well. They're doing.
And that's what I like about anime fans. Like, if you're a diehard fan, obviously you're going to support the studio. You're going to support the author, the animators, the director. So yeah, we're gonna, like, people will watch it, but we are going to still show out and support them. Like, because we know if we don't, we're not going to get great anime anymore.
Exactly.
Animation will suffer. The direction will suffer. The voice acted, everything, the quality of the product will suffer if we don't support. So that's why we show up and we show out like we did this weekend, which I thought was dope.
Yeah.
And this
it
is projected to still be number one this weekend as well. Like, looking at Box Office Mojo yesterday, Wednesday, Demon Slayer grossed $3.6 million
On a Wednesday.
on a Wednesday.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
And I'm glad. I mean, I can't
That's
be more happy
wild.
for them. I mean, the fact that they've stuck with it, and I know people, it's one of those things where people are like, oh well, Demon Slayer's, one of the big ones, and of course, but I'm like, there's other big ones that we've watched over time that haven't stayed strong, and I feel this is a series that is stayed strong and has that, and has never just kind of copped out on us to give us just something to fill the gaps. It's been flowing, and I mean, I don't know. I just feel like there's less filler. I feel like everything, even in this movie, for example, is I wasn't given anything where I felt like it was just filling time, or we're just gonna, we're trying to make it to 2 hours or whatever.
Right.
It's like everything here was something you were waiting to see, or it carried on a story from the wherever in the series. Everything had a poignant moment, or had purpose. So that made it a huge win over a lot of other stuff. I mean, none of the action was unnecessary.
Yeah.
It all had a story to it.
I mean,
Did you
number
guys?
one. Go ahead, Jackie.
Sorry. I was gonna ask, did you guys watch it only in sub, or did you also watch it in dub?
I haven't gotten around to seeing it for the second time in dub, but I did go see it in sub. And
yeah, I saw in sub. I would like to see it or watch it again, and watch the dub version. I mean, not that it makes that big of a difference for me, but I love the voice acting for this in both, so I'm kind of good either way. It's like it's not one of those where it's so much better in dub. It's actually good both. I haven't had a gripe either way. So
I haven't watched any of it in dub yet, so I was interested to know if you guys watched it and what your thoughts were on.
So I looked into it, and it said while the subtitle version came out ahead for Demon Slayer in the U.S., it's not a clear-cut victory, even though 55% of the audience saw a subtitle screening and 33% of the audience purchased tickets to the dub showing. So it's I mean, either way, it's I think more so for the casual fans who just kind of was like, oh, I like Demon Slayer. They probably jumped in and started watching it dubbed and stuff like that. Then you have, I don't want to say the purists, but those who have started watching in sub throughout. It's I will say, for someone who watches it in sub mostly, first time watch through in sub and go back in dub, it's just hard to go from the Japanese voice actors to the English voice actors. It's not the language, it's the tone, the emotion that they have. You get used to Inosuke's laugh from the Japanese voice actor, to hear from the English one. You're just like, I don't know about that, but I'm still here supporting it, so I'll still go and check it out in dub, probably at a matinee. one of these weekends or something like that. But either way, it's just all that money still going back to Ufotable. And shout out to the English voice actors. They're doing a great job. Obviously, they carried it for 4 seasons coming into this movie. So there's an audience and a following for that. So, and hopefully, I'll go to one of these cons and see them, and I'll be like, hey, you do the voice of, you do a good job, which I'm trying to get better at. So,
yeah, I thought it was interesting when I looked at the cast. One of the English casting members that they brought was Channing Tatum. He voiced one of the characters. I don't think this is a spoiler, so I won't say it, but until we get to the deep dive. But Channing Tatum was brought on to voice one of like the most important characters, and I listened to the behind the scenes look of him doing it and that voice versus like what I listened to in sub, but it actually was like pretty good, and I was shocked. And it sounded like if I saw this character and what I know about him, like that is what his voice would sound like. And what's really cool about that is it's just how anime dubs are now being marketed to those wider audiences, and just seeing how anime is really becoming like such a um popular genre for people compared to what it was even 5 years ago. Now they're bringing in big name celebrities into like your and not just Ghibli movies. Like this is now like
I
mainstream.
think they're catching on because, like you mentioned, Ghibli's been doing it since the '90s, where they've had people like Christian Bale, yeah,
oh yeah, some of
they've had some really
mainstream
actors and actresses come on and voice their characters to Studio Ghibli, and even the remakes where I think it was Nausicaa had Patrick Stewart and so forth, and I think when they remastered it or whatever, they still had other actors come in too later on, and it's like Jackie's saying, they're starting to get these more recognizable names, and I think for the actors too, I mean, just like with anything streaming, it's a much better schedule for them personally when they do work like this. One, they don't have that red carpet tour or interview tour constantly to promote. I mean, they could still promote it, but it's not the same. It's not the same like where you see like for the Avengers, where everybody's got to get together and go from Milwaukee to San Antonio or to Santa Fe and just constantly do these promos where they show up, and that cuts into their lives beyond just filming the movie. So a lot of them, if you notice, you're getting to see a lot more big names come out into doing these projects because, I mean, quality of life for them too, as well. They're like, hey, I get to go home at the end of the day. I'm not stuck at a film site 700 miles away from my family. I just go in the studio, record what I need to record, head home or whatever. So, I mean, I think it's a growing thing. And the point that both of you made were the fan base and how it's growing, and we've seen it. I mean, even like in the last 5 years, I think is what Jackie said. I've seen an explosion as far as people on social media and everything showing stuff. I mean, this seemed like it like a wildfire caught, once we get closer and closer to the movie's release. I mean, there's all sorts of reels dropping, videos doing, people are, I mean, even the funny ones where you just see someone walking down the street and when they fall, they're suddenly falling through the but I mean, it was just, you could see all these different fans, coming together, and all these people loving this property here, this franchise. It was just it was impressive to see. I mean, how much attention this anime has gotten.
Yep. And for those who haven't watched or planning on watching or haven't really followed it, it's more of these 3 movies are akin to kind of Marvel and their whole build up through the Infinity Saga, right? Like that was 13 years or something in the making before we got Infinity War and Endgame. But this is Demon Slayer 2019, 2020. So it's like 5 years, 4 seasons leading up into this. And there's after these 3 movies, there's nothing else for Demon Slayer. Like that's a wrap. Yeah. So that is why these movies are probably going to hit the way they do. I remember when we first found out that we were going with the 3-part movie idea instead of going with the seasonal thing on Crunchyroll or whatever. And I don't think either one of us was really skeptical or just like, why are they doing this? They should just put it on, Crunchyroll and just do the episodic thing, because they spend up to $100,000 per episode. So 22-minute episode of Demon Slayer's $100,000.
Wow.
So they obviously upped the ante with the 20 million for this movie, but most animation studios are spending between 40 and 60,000 per episode on their stuff. So the quality is there. I love that it's such a short. It sounds crazy. There's like over 170 chapters in the manga. So when I say it's a short story, people are like, what are you talking about? But there's manga that are just in the high hundreds, thousands type stuff.
Breaking the 1,000 point.
Yeah, we look at in the grand scheme of what most mangas, most animes are based off of. This is a very short and sweet, bam, bam, get to the point end, which I think is well done. Very well done. Doesn't drag on. End it with a nice bow and ride off into the sunset and start working on your next project, whatever that is, Ufotable. So I don't know if we have a rating thing. Like okay, we'll say this. 1 to 5 bowls of ramen.
Ooh.
Jackie, what are you giving Demon Slayer Infinity Arc Part 1?
Maybe I think 4 3/4 bowls.
4.75 bowls.
That's pretty good.
Now, what would you have needed to see to get that last quarter of a bowl?
There's a second fight that happens that reveals a lot for this isn't a spoiler, so I'll just like Zenitsu, for example. He has his moment a little bit in the movie, but there was some things about it that I think I wish he would have got a little bit more. I think that's my thing. If he would have got a little bit more, I think this would have been an easy 5.
I feel that. What about you, EJ? What you got?
Whew. This is tough because like you said, we don't actually have a set rating thing. So, I mean, this being one of the first times we're actually discussing our bowls of ramen here.
Yeah, I like that.
This is setting the bar pretty high. I would say that because you always want to have what would be 1 and what would be 5. Since there's nothing we've reviewed before to kind of give that a basis, this is borderline. I would say like 4.5 to 5. So I'm right in that category with Jackie, and I can't name a particular thing that would have made it a 5. So barring if I had to compare this to other movies, this probably would be a 5, but standalone from what we're at right now, I'd say 4.5, because of the fact that, I mean, without being spoilers, like you said, there's points that I wish we could have delved into a little bit longer, but then the movie would be 4 hours long. You know what I mean? So
I would have stayed.
I would have stayed for it for sure. I'd have been watching it anyway.
I brought a diaper. I wouldn't have cared. It would have been a Lord of the Rings
sleep bag, whatever I got to do. Whatever I got to do. But so 4.5 because I wished it was longer. Now, when we go and watch this dubbed version, Willie, when we finally go see that version, I may come out of there going, no, screw it. That shit's a 5. You know what I mean? I don't know. But for now, from what I've seen, 4.5 bowls, because it's probably going to set that standard for me.
Yeah. And I'll do this. I'll say 4.5 because there's 2 more movies left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what I don't want to do is be like 5, 5, 5.
Yeah.
You know,
Why not though? If it's a 5, it's
and
a 5.
if it's a 5, it's a 5. You know,
I know.
but it's one of those.
Firewall 5.
You're
Yeah,
sitting there.
that's the part I don't want a stratification here of,
Promote
throw it
that.
out as a 5 and, then
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough argument. Like if someone came to me and told me it was a 5, I would not talk them off that cliff. I'd be
No.
like, bro,
yeah.
I might be on that hill with you, but
Yeah, I might run up that hill with you and hold that flag where it goes because,
yeah,
I mean,
I
right
mean,
now
we're
I don't
talking-
have anything to say that would be better. So maybe it is a 5. You know what I mean? It's like,
and I think it's just washing the taste out because the last episode we're talking about horrible live adaptations, right? And we're just like, these
Yeah.
are all ass. And then we see this masterpiece, and then
exactly.
we're just like, yes. And then you start seeing, nothing confirmed, but there's always those troll pages or somebody trying to just put a post up for traction and interaction. Demon Slayer live adaptation in the works over at get out of here. Don't do that.
Yeah.
But
do that.
I'm looking total overall the score top notch in my feels, listening to the score just whenever it's a good time. You got two of the greatest singers, Amir and Lisa, original tracks for this movie. Not like they took it off the album and put it on. They sat down and wrote
And
these
made,
songs.
And I did a whole deep dive into that we can discuss later.
Glorious. So
Exactly.
anytime those two queens get on something, I'm there. I'm all in. The fights, the animation was there. The and this is more towards the author and the creator, but the willingness to start, mini spoiler, taking away characters that you have grown to love.
Mhm.
So it gives the Infinity Castle and these upper ranked demons the what is the word I'm looking for? Not the fear, but they're worthy opponents. Like it's not going to be a cakewalk.
You get the substance of it. I mean,
the power of friendship is not going to save everything.
No.
exactly. Yeah.
Shit,
So it's not going to be a typical shonen where
Right.
everyone's just
some
comes
people
back.
this isn't fairy tale. Natsu's not
it's-
gonna show up.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Eat
This isn't Dragon,
Jackie
this
called
isn't
it out.
Dragon
It's
Ball
not
Z. We're not just
not
going to
the
get
typical
Shenron up in
shonen.
here.
Jackie's right. It's not typical shonen where your favorite guy's going to sit back and go, and now I'm going to have to level up real quick in my power. And suddenly he survives. This one, heads are going to roll good and bad. And it might be someone you love. It might be someone you've been waiting to watch die that takes someone out that you love. You're like, oh, mother. So, I mean, in this, it didn't feel pointless, like with the effect, the loss effect either. Like, I know, Attack on Titan, it's one of the greats. Okay. But when they introduce someone and you're just like, you see them for like 2 episodes and then they spend about 30 minutes on one and you're like, this person's going to die. They're unimportant. And we just had a whole episode about them. Boom, they're dead. And you're just kind of like, yeah, expect that. The Demon Slayer doesn't play that game. They're like, oh, you really love this character? Me too. Let's love him for 4 years and then we'll kill him. Like, what? So that's what the difference. I mean, the impact, and it's like you said, Willie, they made sure the Infinity Castle's no joke. They're going in here and not everybody's coming out. Okay. They're just making that clear from the get-go. This is business. This means business. Okay. No one's walking into this and coming out unscathed. So
let me just say as well. If you guys don't know, this movie is rated R. Okay.
Yeah, I saw that.
Newsflash. So if you're taking your kids and they're wearing the certain kimono for a certain Hashira walking in here, I will say there were kids crying. There was a couple.
Yeah.
Oh.
And a part of
it's
me
funny, but it's funny.
Part of me is like, why you bring them? It's rated R as hell, but
dude,
it's like the cartoon, like
no.
And it's like
Parents don't get it.
You should have read the manga, but I mean, you watch it on Crunchyroll, you're just like, oh, this isn't too bad,
That's crazy because one of the freaking upper six dude in back in the entertainment district was literally eating the arm of a woman. So, but this is kid friendly.
I mean,
TV 14 on Crunchyroll, so they're just like, maybe it's a PG
Let me bring
13.
my 8-year-old.
I mean,
Yeah.
if you watch the beginning of the whole series, I mean, yo, Tanjiro walks home to his whole family butchered, yo, little kids
We
butchered.
see that, but
I'm just like,
Crunchyroll's like TV 14, and
TV
parents are like,
14.
A 14-year-old, really impressionable.
And then
Can't do this.
they just go and they buy the ticket, and the person at the booth like, I mean, you got a guardian with you. It should be cool for you to go in under 17. But yeah, I always like when they take risks. You grow to love a character, and they're willing to take that risk of being like, it's time for them to go. The fights, we'll talk about those, but they are visually pleasing. You know, the animation is there. So all in all, ending it where it ended at, knowing the fights that are coming up, we'll go 4.5. 4.5 bowls of ramen from your boy.
Yeah.
So that's our non-spoiler take. If you haven't seen it, you can end watching now or continue to watch and get a little bit of spoiler action in your life to know what to expect walking in there. Are you guys ready to get into our deep dive review?
Absolutely.
Super ready.
All right, let's do it.